Welcome back in final part 4 of Firefox. Anyways, let's continue this topic. The name Mozilla Firefox is a registered trademark of Mozilla, along with the official Firefox logo. It may only be used under certain terms and conditions.
Anyone may redistribute the official binaries in a modified form and use the Firefox name and branding for such distribution, but restrictions are placed on distributions which modify the underlying source code.
The name Firefox derives from a nickname of the red panda.
Mozilla celebrated red pandas.
Mozilla has placed the Firefox logo files under open source licenses, but its trademark guidelines do not allow displaying altered or similar logos in contexts where trademark law applies. There has been some controversy over the Mozilla Foundation's intentions in stopping certain open source distributions from using the Firefox trademark.
Open source browsers enable greater choice and innovation in the market rather than aiming for mass market domination.
Mozilla Foundation chairperson Mitchell Baker explained in an interview in 2007 that distributions could freely use the Firefox trademark if they did not modify source code, and that the Mozilla Foundation's only concern was with users getting a consistent experience when they used Firefox. To allow distributions of the code without using the official branding, the Firefox build system contains a branding switch.
This switch, often used for alphas, auroras, of future Firefox versions, allows the code to be compiled without the official logo and name and can allow a derivative work unencumbered by restrictions on the Firefox trademark to be produced.
In the unbranded build, the trademarked logo and name are replaced with a freely distributable generic globe logo and the name of the release series from which the modified version was derived. Distributing modified versions of Firefox under the Firefox name required explicit approval from Mozilla for the changes made to the underlying code and required the use of all of the official branding.
For example, it was not permissible to use the name Firefox without also using the official logo.
When the Debian project decided to stop using the official Firefox logo in 2006 because Mozilla's copyright restrictions at the time were incompatible with Debian's guidelines, they were told by a representative of the Mozilla Foundation that this was not acceptable and was asked either to comply with the published trademark guidelines or cease using the Firefox name in their distribution.
Debian switched to branding their modified version of Firefox, Iceweasel, but in 2016 switched back to Firefox, along with other Mozilla software.
GNU IceCat is another derived version of Firefox, distributed by the GNU project, which maintains its separate branding. The Firefox icon is a trademark used to designate the official Mozilla build of the Firefox software and builds of official distribution partners.
For this reason, software distributors who distribute modified versions of Firefox do not use the icon.
Early Firebird and Phoenix releases of Firefox were considered to have reasonable visual designs but fell short when compared to many other professional software packages.
In October 2003, professional interface designer Stephen Garrity authored an article covering everything he considered to be wrong with Mozilla's visual identity.
Shortly afterwards, the Mozilla Foundation invited Garrity to head up the new visual identity team.
The release of Firefox 0.8 in February 2004 saw the introduction of the new branding efforts.
Included were new icon designs by Silver Arch, a group of web developers with a long-standing relationship with Mozilla.
The final renderings are by John Hicks, who had worked on Camino.
The logo was later revised and updated, fixing several flaws found when it was enlarged.
The animal shown in the logo is a stylized fox, although Firefox is usually a common name for the red panda.
The panda, according to Hicks, didn't really conjure up the right imagery and was not widely known. In June 2019, Mozilla unveiled a revised Firefox logo, which was officially implemented on version 70.
The new logo is part of an effort to build a brand system around Firefox and its complementary apps and services, which are now being promoted as a suite under the Firefox brand.
Firefox was adopted rapidly, with 100 million downloads in its first year of availability.
This was followed by a series of aggressive marketing campaigns starting in 2004, with a series of events Blake Ross and Asa Dotzler called Marketing Weeks.
Firefox continued to heavily market itself by releasing a marketing portal dubbed Spread Firefox SFX on September 12, 2004.
It debuted along with a Firefox preview release, creating a centralized space for the discussion of various marketing techniques.
The release of their manifesto stated that the Mozilla Project is a global community of people who believe that openness, innovation, and opportunity are key to the continued health of the Internet.
A two-page ad in the edition of December 16 of the New York Times, placed by Mozilla Foundation in coordination with Spread Firefox, featured the names of the thousands of people worldwide who contributed to the Mozilla Foundation's fundraising campaign to support the launch of the Firefox 1.0 web browser.
SFX Portal Enhanced Fee, Get Firefox, button program, giving users referrer points as an incentive.
The site lists the top 250 referrers.
From time to time, the SFX team or SFX members launch marketing events organized at the Spread Firefox website.
As a part of the Spread Firefox campaign, there was an attempt to break the world download record with the release of Firefox 3.
This resulted in an official, certified Guinness World Record with over 8 million downloads.
In February 2011, Mozilla announced that it would be retiring Spread Firefox, SFX.
3 months later, in May 2011, Mozilla officially closed Spread Firefox.
Mozilla wrote that there are currently plans to create a new iteration of this website, Spread Firefox, at a later date.
In celebration of the 3rd anniversary of the founding of the Mozilla Foundation, the World Firefox Day campaign was established on July 15, 2006, and ran until September 15, 2006.
Participants registered themselves and a friend on the website for nomination to have their names displayed on the Firefox Friends wall, a digital wall that was displayed at the headquarters of the Mozilla Foundation.
The Firefox community has also engaged in the promotion of their web browser.
In 2006, some of Firefox's contributors from Oregon State University made a crop circle of the Firefox logo in the note field near Amity, Oregon, near the intersection of Lafayette Highway and Walnut Hill Road.
After Firefox reached 500 million downloads on February 21, 2008, the Firefox community celebrated by visiting free rice to earn 500 million grains of rice. Other initiatives included LibChat, a service Mozilla launched in 2007 that allowed users to seek technical support from volunteers.
The service was later retired.
To promote the launch of Firefox Quantum in November 2017, Mozilla partnered with Reggie Watts to produce a series of TV ads and social media content. In December 2005, Internet Week ran an article in which many readers reported high memory usage in Firefox 1.5.
Mozilla developers said that the higher memory use of Firefox 1.5 was at least partially due to the new fast backwards and forwards, fastback feature.
Other known causes of memory problems were malfunctioning extensions such as Google Toolbar and some older versions of AdBlock, or plugins such as older versions of Adobe Acrobat Reader.
When PC Magazine in 2006 compared memory usage of Firefox 2, Opera 9, and Internet Explorer 7, they found that Firefox used approximately as much memory as each of the other two browsers.
In 2006, Softpedia noted that Firefox 1.5 took longer to start up than other browsers, which was confirmed by further speed tests. Internet Explorer 6 launched more swiftly than Firefox 1.5 on Windows XP since many of its components were built into the OS and loaded during system startup.
As a workaround for the issue, a preloader application was created that loaded components of Firefox on startup, similar to Internet Explorer.
A Windows Vista feature called Superfetch performs a similar task of preloading Firefox if it is used often enough. Tests performed by PC World and Zimbra in 2006 indicated that Firefox 2 used less memory than Internet Explorer 7.
Firefox 3 used less memory than Internet Explorer 7, Opera 9.50 data, Safari 3.1 data, and Firefox 2 in tests performed by Mozilla, Cybernet, and the Browser World.
In mid-2009, Data News benchmarked Firefox 3.5 and declared that it performed it nearly 10 times better on XP than Microsoft Internet Explorer 7. In January 2010, Lifehacker compared the performance of Firefox 3.5, Firefox 3.6, Google Chrome 4, stable and dev versions, Safari 4, and Opera 10.1 stable and 10.53 alpha versions.
Lifehacker timed how long browsers took to start and reach a page, both right after boot up and after running at least once already. Timed how long browsers took to load 9 tabs at once, tested JavaScript speeds using Mozilla's Vermeio online suite, which implements Apple's SunSpider and Google's V8 tests, and measured memory usage using Windows 7's Process Manager.
They concluded that Firefox 3.5 and 3.6 were the 5th and 6th fastest browsers, respectively, on startup. 3.5 was 3rd and 3.6 was 6th fastest to load 9 tabs at once. 3.5 was 6th and 3.6 was 5th fastest on the JavaScript tests.
They also concluded that Firefox 3.6 was the most efficient with memory usage, followed by Firefox 3.5.
In February 2012, Tom's Hardware Performance tested Chrome 17, Firefox 10, Internet Explorer 9, Opera 11.61, and Safari 5.1.2 on Windows 7.
Tom's Hardware summarized their tests into 4 categories: performance, efficiency, reliability, and conformance.
In the performance category, they tested HTML5, Java, JavaScript, DOM, CSS3, Flash, Silverlight, and WebGL. WebGL2 is current as of version 51. And Java and Silverlight stopped working as of version 52. They also tested startup time and page load time.
The performance tests showed that Firefox was either acceptable or strong in most categories, winning 3 categories: HTML5, HTML5 hardware acceleration, and Java, only finishing weak in CSS performance.
In the efficiency tests, Tom's Hardware tested memory usage and management.
With this category, it determined that Firefox was only acceptable at performing light memory usage, while it was strong at performing heavy memory usage.
In the reliability category, Firefox performed a strong amount of proper page loads.
For the final category, conformance, it was determined that Firefox had strong conformance for JavaScript and HTML5.
So in conclusion, Tom's Hardware determined that Firefox was the best browser for Windows 7 OS, but that it only narrowly beat Google Chrome. In June 2013, Tom's Hardware again performance tested Firefox 22, Chrome 27, Opera 12, and Internet Explorer 10.
They found that Firefox slightly edged out the other browsers in their performance index, which examined wait times, JavaScript execution speed, HTML5/CSS3 rendering, and hardware acceleration performance.
Firefox also scored the highest on the non-performance index, which measured memory efficiency, reliability, security, and standards conformance, finishing ahead of Chrome, the runner-up.
Whoa!
Tom's Hardware concluded by declaring Firefox the sound winner of the performance benchmarks.
In January 2014, a benchmark testing the memory usage of Firefox 29, Google Chrome 34, and Internet Explorer 11 indicated that Firefox used the least memory when a substantial number of tabs were open. In benchmark testing in early 2015 on a high-end Windows machine, comparing Microsoft Edge, Legacy, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, and Opera, Firefox achieved the highest score on 3 of the 7 tests.
4 different JavaScript performance tests gave conflicting results.
Firefox surpassed all other browsers on the Peacekeeper benchmark, but was behind on Microsoft products when tested with SunSpider.
Measured with Mozilla's Kraken, it came second place to Chrome, while on Google's Octane Challenge it took third behind Chrome and Opera.
Firefox took the lead with WebXPRT, which runs several typical HTML5 and JavaScript tests.
Firefox, Chrome, and Opera all achieved the highest possible score on the Word Online test, measuring WebGL rendering speed. WebGL2 is now current.
In terms of HTML5 compatibility testing, Firefox was ranked in the middle of the group. A similar set of benchmark tests in 2016 showed Firefox's JavaScript performance on Kraken and the newer Jetstream test trailing slightly behind all other tested browsers except Internet Explorer, IE, which performed relatively poorly.
On Octane, Firefox came ahead of IE and Safari, but again slightly behind the rest, including Vivaldi and Microsoft Edge Legacy.
Edge Legacy took overall first place on the Jetstream and Octane benchmarks. In 2023, Microsoft published that it corrected a mistake in MS Windows after 5 years that slowed down especially Firefox. As of the adoption of Firefox 57 and Mozilla's Quantum Project entering production browsers in November 2017, Firefox was tested to be faster than Chrome in independent JavaScript tests and demonstrated to use less memory with many browser tabs opened.
TechRadar rated it as the fastest web browser in a May 2019 report.
Downloads have continued at an increasing rate since Firefox 1.0 was released, and as of 31 July 2009, Firefox had already been downloaded over 1 billion times.
This number does not include downloads using software updates or those from third-party websites.
They do not represent the user count, as one download may be installed on many machines. One person may download the software multiple times, or the software may be obtained from a third party. In July 2010, IBM asked all employees, about 400,000, to use Firefox as their default browser. Firefox was the second most used web browser until November 2011, when Google Chrome surpassed it.
According to Mozilla, Firefox had more than 450 million users as of October 2012.
In October 2024, Firefox was the 4th most widely used desktop browser, and it was the 4th most popular, with 2.95% of worldwide usage share of web browsers across all platforms. According to the Firefox Public Data Report by Mozilla, the active monthly count of desktop clients has decreased from around 310 million in 2017 to 200 million in 2023.
From October 2020, the desktop market share of Firefox started to decline in countries where it used to be the most popular.
In Eritrea, it dropped from 50% in October 2020 to 9.32% in September 2021. In Cuba, it dropped from 54.36% in September 2020 to 38.42% in September 2021. The UK and US governments both follow the 2% rule.
This states that only browsers with more than 2% market share among visitors of their websites will be supported.
There are concerns that support for Firefox will be dropped because as of December 29, 2023, the browser market share among US government website visitors is 2.2%. That's it for this episode today. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit a like, subscribe to this channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos as usual, and we'll see you in the next episode.